Hello everyone, welcome back to Dugout Daily. I'm Charlie and today we have another video. This time we are previewing the match where Manchester City square off against Nottingham Forest on Sunday afternoon as we look to keep our Premier League title bid in our own hands. Before we get going, make sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Dugout Daily, the football channel, hit the Apex the F1 channel and at MCFC Hibs on Twitter. We will get going then, and at a time when the defending champions begin the weekend in second with a game in hand, Forest are just a point above the relegation zone. We will start with Manchester City's Premier League form then, as we are unbeaten in our last six, with that run being 2 draws and 4 wins. Last time out for both teams, starting off with Nottingham Forest, they travelled to Everton on Sunday and lost 2-0 at 1:30 in the Premier League. Manchester City travelled to Brighton on Thursday at 8 p.m. in the Premier League and won 4-0. Nottingham Forest have scored 42 goals in the Premier League this season, whereas Manchester City have scored 80. We will move on to the head-to-head then, as we will start on September the 30th, 1995 at 3 o'clock when it finished Nottingham Forest 3, Manchester City 0, where Lee scored a brace in the 10th and 46th minutes as Stone scored an 82nd minute goal. In the book for Nottingham Forest was Stone in the 31st minute, Lee in the 33rd minute and Salenzi in the 80th minute. In the book for Manchester City was Foster in the 4th minute, Rosler in the 11th minute, Brown in the 12th minute, Brightwell in the 40th minute. He was also sent off a minute later, and Curl in the 88th minute. And then on December the 18th, 1995 at 3 o'clock, it finished Manchester City 1, Nottingham Forest 1, as Rosler opened the scoring in the 16th minute for Manchester City, as Campbell scored a 69th minute equaliser for Nottingham Forest. Pearce got booked in the 80th minute for Nottingham Forest. And then it was a very long time until these two next met on August the 31st, 2022 at 7:30, where it finished Manchester City 6, Nottingham Forest 0. Braut Haaland got a hat-trick in the 12th, 23rd and 38th minutes, as Cancelo made it 4 in the 50th minute. Alvarez then scored a brace in the 65th and 87th minutes. And then on February the 18th, 2023 at 3 o'clock, it finished Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester City 1, as Silva scored a 41st minute leader for City, as Ward scored an 84th minute equaliser. And then earlier on this season, on September the 23rd, 2023 at 3 o'clock, it finished Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 0. Foden opened the scoring in the 7th minute as Haaland scored in the 14th minute. In the book for Manchester City was Akanji in the 18th minute, Guardiola in the 19th minute, Ederson in the 58th minute, and Grealish in the 93rd minute. Rodri was sent off in the 46th minute. And in the book for Nottingham Forest was Tavares in the 21st minute, Sangare in the 46th minute, as well as Gibbs White, Awani in the 58th minute, Mangala in the 77th minute, Origi in the 81st minute, and Montiel in the 93rd minute. Next up then, we move on to the form, as Nottingham Forest have only won 1 of their last 6, with that run being a 1-1 draw away at Luton, a 1-1 draw at home to Crystal Palace, a 3-1 win at home to Fulham, a 3-1 loss away at Spurs, a 2-2 draw at home to Wolves, and a 2-0 loss away at Everton. And Manchester City are unbeaten in 5 of our last 6 in all competitions, with that run being a 4-2 win away at Crystal Palace, a 3-3 draw away at Real Madrid, a 5-1 win at home to Luton, a 4-3 loss on penalties after a 1-1 draw at home to Real Madrid, a 1-0 win at Wembley against Chelsea, and a 4-0 win away at Brighton. Chris Wood is Nottingham Forest top scorer as he scored 12 Premier League goals and 13 in all competitions. His last league goal was away at Tottenham on April the 7th. He scored a brace and a hat-trick this season. And Erling Haaland is Manchester City's top scorer with 20 Premier League goals and 33 in all competitions. His last league goal was at home to Luton on April the 13th. He scored 4 braces and a hat-trick this season. Next up then, we move to Pep Guardiola, where he's talked up an exciting title race. Pep Guardiola is hoping that the excitement of Manchester City's Premier League title challenge will help his squad deal with fatigue in the final few weeks of the season. The Citizens have played 7 games across 3 different competitions in the space of 22 days in the month of April and are preparing for another quick turnaround following our midweek win over Brighton. Manchester City cruised to a 4-0 away win against the Seagulls on Thursday night, with Phil Foden scoring twice in between Kevin De Bruyne's headed opener and a second-half strike from Julian Alvarez. Guardiola's men have climbed above Liverpool into second and sit just a point behind Premier League leaders Arsenal, who have played a game more and faced North London rivals Tottenham on Sunday. Winning an unprecedented 4th successive Premier League title remains in sight for Manchester City, who are now preparing for Sunday's trip to the City Ground to face relegation-threatened Nottingham Forest. Guardiola believes that every team is tired at this stage of the season, but hopes that the excitement of fighting for another top-flight trophy can spur on his Manchester City squad in our final 5 league games. Speaking at a press conference on Thursday night, Guardiola said, "Of course all the teams are tired. It's normal at the end of the season, but in the same time it's so exciting, fighting again for the Premier League. It's a dream come true." I couldn't expect it, honestly. I know always you dream to be there, but what happened in the past, I had this season, maybe we wouldn't be able to do it. Although City have just 2 full days to prepare for Sunday's trip to Forest, Guardiola believes that his players have shown the desire to compete despite the physical demands that we have faced, amid our hectic fixture schedule. Last weekend, the Citizens beat Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final just 3 days after losing to Real Madrid on penalties in the Champions League quarter-final. Of course, we have to compete and then we will put on pressure. It's what we have to do, said Guardiola. Chelsea was the real proof we play in difficult conditions. We weren't ready to compete against them, but we did it and we played good. No, we were stable. No, but we found a way. We found a way to win and reach the final. Sometimes when you play 60 to 65 games a season, people say you're not playing like the previous games. With respect, it's impossible to play at a highest level all the time. Impossible. The important thing is when you're not at your highest level is be consistent and take the points and win games. And normally it happened to us at the end of the season, and that's so important. Manchester City were frustrated in a 1-1 draw at Nottingham Forest last season, and Guardiola's expecting another testing afternoon at the City Ground this weekend. "I think I've been 1 or twice in that stadium and always the atmosphere is unbelievable," said the Catalan boss. "Maybe an extra factor I would say for the fact that they're in a relegation battle. That's why how important the result, especially yesterday, Everton won, so it's not good for them. But what I'm concerned about is Callum Hudson-Odoi and all of the strikers that they have, and we have to control the weapons they have. We're used to playing with the environment, and we're going to try what we have to do. Of course, we're going to use this home ground, home people to support that's normal." Manchester City beat Forest 2-0 in the reverse fixture at the Etihad Stadium in September last year, courtesy of 2 early goals from Foden and Erling Haaland. The latter's an injury doubt for Sunday's match at the City Ground after missing the last 2 games with a minor muscle issue, although he was spotted in training on Friday. We will move to the match preview then, as despite sitting in second in the table, there's an assumption that Manchester City will do what we need to do in order to win a record 4th successive Premier League title. Pep Guardiola's side held a 17-match unbeaten streak in the top flight, which was a run which lasted since December when we made the trip to the American Express Stadium to face Brighton on Thursday night. That undefeated run was swiftly extended to 18, with City moving 3-0 ahead within 34 minutes on the South Coast and eventually scoring 4 for the fourth league match in succession, becoming just the third team to achieve that feat. With Liverpool losing to Everton earlier in the week, City now sit 2 points clear of the Merseyside Giants, having played a game fewer, but our focus will be on chasing down leaders Arsenal. We're now only a point ahead after Liverpool drew 2-2 away at West Ham on Saturday. However, we have 2 games in hand. City will have an eye on the North London derby between the Gunners and Tottenham that takes place before this meeting at the City Ground. Yet Guardiola will stress to his side that they must only prioritise taking care of our own business. Guardiola will also remind his players that we came unstuck at Forest in last season's corresponding fixture when the East Midlands outfit battled their way to a 1-1 draw. Nevertheless, this is a Forest side that face a team who are unbeaten in 30 in all competitions when they've just won just one of their last 10 games. That came against Fulham on April the 2nd, with Forest having since collected just a point from 3 games against Tottenham, Wolves and Everton. Forest responded to losing 2-0 to Everton by posting a bizarre statement on social media which questions the integrity of the VAR official after 3 penalty appeals went against them. Furthermore, Forest are also waiting to discover the outcome of their appeal over a 4-point penalty for breaching the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules, with that expected in the coming days. Nuno Espirito Santo's side must first try to extend their unbeaten run at the City Ground to 4, while they've only lost 7 of 17 such fixtures on familiar territory this season. We will move to the Nottingham Forest team news then, and Forest are again likely to be without Taiwo Awoniyi due to a thigh injury. The best case scenario is a return to the bench. Willy Bolly's also absent, but Nuno could look to bring Anthony Elanga back into the starting lineup as a replacement for Giovanni Reina. Moussa Niakate made his first appearance in 2 months last time and will hope to retain his spot in the middle of defence. So the predicted team for Nottingham Forest is Sells in goal, Williams, Niakate, Mario and Aina behind Dominguez and Danilo in midfield, Elanga, Gibbs White and Hudson-Odoi behind Wood in attack. And we will move to the Manchester City team news then, as we will be bidding to make it 5 straight wins in the Premier League when we head to relegation-threatened Nottingham Forest on Sunday afternoon. Pep Guardiola's side recorded a 4-0 win over Brighton on Thursday, which moved us into second in the table, a point behind leaders Arsenal with a game in hand. The citizens have our destiny in our own hands when it comes to the title race, and we will be eyeing another huge 3 points against Forest this weekend. We face Forest, who are 17th in the table and a point ahead of 18th place Luton. Haaland has now missed Manchester City's last 2 matches with a minor muscular problem, but the Norway international is expected to be back into the squad on Sunday and will be bidding to add to his 31 goals that he scored in all competitions this season. Erling Haaland is currently Manchester City's only injury doubt for Sunday's Premier League match against Nottingham Forest. The club's leading marksman has missed the last 2 matches due to a minor muscle issue sustained against Real Madrid on April the 17th. Even if the Norway internationals pass fit to feature in the squad at the City Ground, Pep Guardiola may only be prepared to select the forward on the bench. City made light work of Brighton on Thursday as we ran out 4-0 victors at the American Express Stadium, and Guardiola was able to rest a number of his key men during the last 20 minutes. That naturally improves the chances of an unchanged starting lineup being scheduled for the encounter in the East Midlands, yet some tinkering could occur given the hectic schedule. John Stones and Ruben Diaz both remained as unused subs on Thursday, and it would come as no surprise if they replaced Manuel Akanji and Nathan Ake in the middle of the back line. Meanwhile, Phil Foden got the nod on the left ahead of Jack Grealish and Jeremy Doku, and it's plausible that one of the wingers will return to the side. If that is the case, Foden would likely move inside with either Bernardo Silva or Mateo Kovacic dropping to the bench. So the predicted team for Manchester City is Ederson in goal, Walker, Stones, Diaz and Vardiol as a back four, with De Bruyne, Rodri and Foden in midfield, Bernardo, Alvarez and Grealish as the front three. Finally then we will move to the prediction. With Forest well rested and motivated after the defeat to Everton, City will be faced with a railed up City ground. Nevertheless, I still expect City to make relatively light work of Nuno's side as we run out convincing victors like we did at Brighton. So my prediction for this game is Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester City 3. So that is it for this video then. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Dugout Daily, the football channel. Hit the Apex the F1 channel and at MCFC Hibs on Twitter. Everybody, thank you all so much for watching and we'll speak to you all soon. Take care and goodbye for now. Cheers everyone.